contest. Russo has the ball on the outer side, plays on by hand to Collins, who runs up through the middle and kicks towards half-forward. Good kick two into the path of Kennedy. He's inside 50 now, John Kennedy. Pulls it down towards full forward. Gives the body touch it. He claims he did. No, he didn't.
I thought he was a great player. A good player and a great player. Not my job to tell him that, but I thought he was great, and his record of games proves it, really, the games he played. And of course, when I was coaching North, he was a really great player. How many goals before half-time? Played under Alan Jeans and Dave Parkin, and I think both of them would agree with what I've said, yes. But you don't go talking about your own people, you know. It's understood.
I played in a practice match down at Kew one year, in my first year. I certainly felt it during that game that it might have been better if I wasn't John Kennedy's son, because as an intra-club practice match, I seemed to be getting belted every time I went near the ball. I was belted in the back of the head, I was driven into the ground, I was given the worst time of all time. I came off the ground shaking my head and said, if I don't stand up here, I'm going to get just squashed like a fly here because they're just all over me. But I never really was sure as to whether or not he should take some responsibility for the lump I've got in the back of my head and had there since I was 19. History will tell you that he was my harshest critic. In fact, if it came to the crunch, he'd vote me out, which I took a bit of objection to. He should vote me out. But anyway, to be fair, that was the way he looked at it, you know. We used to kick a bit in the backyard. You know, he'd kick them as hard as he could into my face, and of course, a few of them would fly at the fair percentage. So I'd spend the morning of a Saturday morning just chasing the footy out there and there, and the occasional one would come straight at me, and I'd get such a shock, I'd go through. But he did spend a lot of time, and particularly in my younger when I was playing the seconds at Hawthorn, I still remember in the backyard there, at the top of the driveway, Dad would kick the ball to me, and I'd have to kick it back. But the kicks, whew. But I certainly left home pretty warmed up, you know, I was on edge, you know.
I can only say one of the great times for me in football was when John played his first game for Hawthorn and Jeansy and I were sitting together, and it was his first match, and it was a real memorable time. So the ball was kicked down and John came running from behind, unfortunately, but he punched the ball away from the opponent, and Alan said to me he'd learn that like brushing his teeth in the morning. And it sticks in my mind for that, as well as for the action and the fact that later on then, when at North Melbourne, John managed to play very well always.
To get to 200 games is a good milestone for me. I'm happy to get there, and I hope I can contribute to help Hawthorn win on Saturday. Sorry, Dad.
Kelly is bundled out of the road. Russo got a kick. It's up towards the forward line. Matthews is there, knocks it back beautifully to Kennedy. He will probably know he changes his mind. He gets a left foot kick and he's banging through again.
So North, I think, he's a tremendous player. I think he's pretty good. Alan Jeans again used to say, well, he said to the team he can lift when they play North Melbourne. Why can't the rest of you do the same?
And I think that'd be the same with a lot of players. They find they play well against some sides and consistently, and for what reason I don't know. You know, I can't tell you why I played well against North, but I did.
He was having a shot for goal one day, and he was going all right, and I considered sending out Normie Lord to tell him he's lose his inheritance if he kicks the goal.
13 minutes down as Moore goes to the outer side of the ground. Oh, what a mark! Fantastic mark, Kennedy.
Goad caught, gets a handball to the play running through, and Kennedy, chance to steady and boot, and he steered it through.
I was blessed to be in a side that had a lot of talent in it. So it made my job a lot easier than what it might have been if I was in a poor side. You know, what I was good at, I was able to capitalise on. I knew I could run, so I was able to run, long distances, and I knew I'd be able to outrun most of my opponents. So as the game wore on, I knew I'd wear them down. And look, I think I was a good player at best, but I don't think I would agree with him that I was a great player. I think that's a bit biased, but I was in a great side, and I wouldn't change that for the world.